Hey guys, today's build's going to be a little bit the same, a little bit different. There's been some other YouTube and Instagram bike guys who have put a challenge out there to build a bike for less than 150 US dollars, and this is going to be my entry into this build. It's it was a mystery bike when I bought it. I didn't know what it was. It had some good components on it, some nice old Sun Tour stuff. It had, appeared to be a good chromoly frame. We had some specialized cranks. The classic bottom mounted brake there, and it had an XT rear mech. Had some good rims, etc., etc. But I didn't know what it was. At first, I thought maybe I stumbled onto a stump jumper or something, and I wasn't quite sure. So I had to do some investigating. You can kind of see some paint behind the blue, and so what I did was I slowly scraped off some of the paint to find out exactly what it was. It turned out, as you can see, it was a Trek. You can see there T-R-E, and the K is back there too. And it says Antelope up here on the top tube, which was kind of like, not too excited. It was an Antelope 850. I was hoping it was a stump jumper, but it wasn't. But it turns out that this actually was one of the top of the line Treks in '86, and it looked like this originally. It had a pink fade paint. So I'm going to redo this bike, give it a new paint job, and give it my own little touch of fade paint on it myself. And we're going to get it back into good working order. So come with me in the shop and let's get this thing fixed up and restored for the Cheap Bike Challenge. So this bike used to be a campus cruiser. It was I think it was abused and abused. I could tell it was somewhat maintained, but it was rideable, but very crusty. It spent a lot of time outdoors. I was able to pick this bike up for $20, and it was one of those off of Facebook Marketplace where I said, "Yep, come pick up the bike. It'll be next to the garage. Throw a $20 bill underneath the doormat by the back door, and take it away." And I grabbed it, excited, and I've had it for about a month or so, and waiting to do a build. And then of course, when this challenge came along, I thought, great, this is a perfect bike to do this. And so, anyways, so as we're tearing into this bike, there's some challenges with it. One thing I know for sure before I started, and that's why I probably kind of delayed, is the seat post is stuck inside the frame. So that's going to be something that I've never really came across before, so I got to fix that and get that taken care of. And then also, I had a little trouble getting the cranks off, as you'll be able to tell a little bit later. It just was kind of a bear getting the bottom bracket and the cranks off. So, yeah. Anyways, watch the rest of this tear down here, and then after that, we'll get into tackling this stuck seat post. Oh, one more thing. Make sure you watch till the end, because that's where I'll wrap everything up and show you what I spent on all the parts and what the budget was for the build. All right, so the first thing I got to do after I rinsed on this thing many times, tried, you know, every kind of penetrating fluid I could, and at the end of the day, I'm just going to have to cut it off so I can get access to it, so I can cut this thing up. And of course, I'm sure OSHA would not be impressed with my cutting skills, but yeah, this seat post was a lot thicker than I expected when I took it apart. So, anyways, I kind of slid it down the middle, and then I proceeded to take the Sawzall and cut as delicately as I could to try to get only the aluminum, which thank goodness aluminum cuts a lot easier than steel, but cut without hitting the steel as much as possible. So, and as I'm banging on it here with the hammer, you'll be able to tell. I think it kind of broke it loose because it makes a little bit of a loose noise, which I was pretty happy about. I'm very excited. It comes out relatively easy. And what happens with a seat post, with aluminum seat post in a steel frame, is it doesn't rust in there. It actually has a chemical reaction and it creates a new compound. I don't know exactly what it is, but you can see this thing is coated with whatever that new element is that is created, and it wedges itself in the seat post, or in the seat post tube. So yeah, you can see it kind of flaking off there. So it's not really rusted in, but it's wedged in. So the whole point is to get it out. Then of course I gotta try to clean out the inside of the seat post tube to make sure it's nice and clean for future seat post. Now the fun begins. Sanding. So I'm not going to bore you with it, but after most all the paint's removed, we get it in and get it primed. And then you'll see here, there's primed. And a full coat of white paint is applied. You can see I'm being safe right now wearing my mask. And then I come in with some blue. And of course, blue doesn't affect you chemically, so I don't have a mask on. Yeah, just kidding. Should have been wearing a mask. And so go to blue, and then go to red. And then what I'm thinking is I wanted to do a special kind of fade, so I used a toothbrush and sprayed some red over some of the paint into the thing, and I flicked the paint off of the toothbrush to get a kind of a more of a speckle fade as the paint changes from red to white and blue to white. So I don't know, kind of, you can't really go wrong with something like this. You can't mess it up, and I don't know, I think that kind of turned out pretty cool. And then, of course, the most important step is you have to stand back and look at it. Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay, so this is a really nice tinge. There's a Falcon headset. A little bit of scuzz in there. Really good condition. They really put a good... I'm going to clean it up. I've been looking at them. And inside, the bearing races are really good shape. The problem is, when I took them apart, they kind of disintegrated on me. So, those are not going to use. because I'm a pack rat and I have this big box of bearings, I was able to find the right size bearings for this. So I just need to clean them up a little bit and we'll be good to go for the headset. Now, moving on to the bottom bracket. This guy, there's the bearing race and the bearings, the screw. Yeah, these things are not so good shape, but they are a 1.37 inch 24 TPI. And because I'm a pack rat, I'll show you that. And I have a box full of bottom brackets. I was able to find this guy. So this guy is also a 1.37 by 24, and it's a Tangy. It's got it's never been, I took it off, I never cleaned it, but it's in really good shape. This is going to clean up really nice. Bearings are in great shape. It's even got a little plastic seal on it too. So excited. So anyways, these are going to be a good cheap alternative to replacing the bottom bracket in the headset. So I'm able to save them. I'll assign a value to them, but for the most part, I think I sidestepped having to buy a new bottom bracket and headset. Okay, another part that I would like to replace is this Suntour XC Sport. It's bent and it is really worn. I've never seen one where it actually is worn from the chain. So you can see inside there it's a 28.6, and I was able to find this in the parts bin. Nice Shimano. It's got a little wear on it too, but it's going to clean up. It just needs a little cleaning, but I think it's going to be nice. It's also, they're both top pull or for a bottom pull. I had another one that was a top pull, but this one's gonna, obviously I need a bottom, or I need one that pulls from the bottom to actuate. But this one's gonna be real nice, front derailleur. And it'll sort of match the XT rear mech that I have for the rear. So at least we'll have two Shimanos. All right, so I got a new Christmas present. This guy. Learning how to use it slowly. I'm not real good at it yet, but all right, another little surprise. I was truing this rear wheel and one of the spokes snapped. As you can see, one of the chain. I know I'm not a Dork disc fan, but obviously this bike didn't have a Dork disc, and it didn't have it adjusted right, and that chain went down into the spokes many times to the point where they were trashed. But I had another wheel that it was pretty much going to throw away, and I harvested the spokes off of that one. Okay, so after many new spokes, they're all fixed and much better. And I was going to put a new cassette, or a freewheel. This is a freewheel, not a cassette. But it's not in the budget. I'll blow the budget if I do. So maybe in the future we'll upgrade this, but it still functions well. It's just ugly. Okay, found a new seat post to replace the one I cut out, and all clean as a whistle. But we're going to lube it up real good. Real good. Whoa! So we don't have that problem again. Okay. Good as new-ish. So I couldn't let my loud paint job go without some loud looking decals. So we got some gold shiny decals for this Trek. And because I forgot to hit record, there it is. The fork is installed just like magic. Got some new shiny upright steel handlebars from the parts bin. Been waiting to use these for a long time. Normally, you don't want to really mix brands for your drivetrain, Suntour and Shimano. But in this case, with friction shifters, they can be compatible with just about anything because you're not indexing, or you have to worry about indexing lining up. So these work well. So there we have it. 1986 Trek Antelope 850 brought back to life. It no longer looks anything like it used to or what it originally was. It's kind of my little spin on a red, white, and blue theme, and it rides nice. It's mechanically perfect now. Well, as good as I can make it anyways. But it's ready for some new life and a new story, and probably another, 40 years of use. So in just a second here, I'll go through and do a rundown on all the things that I bought and things that I caught. You know how the budget went on this build, and I thank the other YouTube and Instagrammers for setting this up. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it, and hope you guys like the build too. All right, so here's the bike budget. I pick up the bike for $20. For the new stuff, I bought tires for $52, chain for $11, grips for $7, seat for $13, front brake pads $3, cables $5, the decal $10, rattle can paint $9, and then we got parts bin stuff. I assigned values. At the bottom bracket was worth $4, pedals $3, handlebars $5, seat post $4, and the front derailleur was $3 for a total just under $150, $149. So there we go. So just so you know, I had a backup planned bike because I didn't know if I was going to be able to pull this one off in time, and so I did 2 builds, and that next build will be coming out next week. So make sure you like and subscribe, because I got one more cheap bike challenge build just for fun that I'll be putting out next weekend. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.